some of the more subtle details of rotational rooting. Again, the purpose for doing rotational rooting is to develop internal rooting, the ability to be very stable without feeling that you're going to fall, the ability to have incoming energy come towards you, and you could root it into the ground in a very strong, in a very balanced platform. So again, when I'm doing rotational rooting, one feet is at 45 degrees, the back feet, okay? The front feet is not pointing straight. If this is 12 o'clock, it's like 11:30, okay? Going in 11:30, depending on which leg, okay? But it goes in a little bit so it doesn't get caught on the hips. When I say 99% of the energy is on the back leg, it's on the back leg. So all my gravity, alignment, pressure, my weight is on my back leg. At no time during the rotational rooting from the beginning to end do I shift forward. Okay. Of course, everything we do, you can modify it just depending on if you have any injuries or something like that. That's okay. But right now, I'm talking about just how to do it more standard, whether you can do it now or you develop into it. Okay. So the back leg on the ground, how I connect to the ground is equally important. I feel like the bottom of my feet is contorted. It's hugging. It's sewn to the ground. Okay. From the top, the middle, to the back of my feet is firmly planted onto the ground. Okay. And when I start, I'm always starting in a linear fashion. These arms are guided by the rolling 8 ball. The rolling 8 ball is guided by the energy that comes up from the general. That's why we have that term. That's a very popular saying, not just in Yang style, but in all styles. 气根在脚，胯是一腿，指爪要心意所指. From the feet to the waist to the body and eventually out all 10 fingertips. That's the expression that's translated into English. So once I start, I sew, and the energy is going to the back leg already. Once I make a rotation, I'm careful that my knees do not swivel left and right. How I go around and how I come back is inside formula. Where the energy and gravity goes, then I sink and I allow for internal rotation. Again, internal rotation. A physical rotation is you feel like the body, external body is doing the movement. You don't want that to happen. Because you're sewn, you release, what comes back up is the internal energy. Then inside formula, you feel the energy and gravity doing the movement to guide the movement. Now, what's very important is that when I'm sinking, I feel the rebounding energy coming up. So when I'm doing the rotation, I feel like it's energy that's guiding and spiraling from down, coming up, coming down. It's a spiraling, internal type of spiraling that I feel when I'm doing this rotational rooting. And no time that I feel that when I'm doing it, we don't want leaking energy. Leaking energy is that as I'm going back, I allow the energy to go horizontally that way. I always want to feel that as I'm coming around, I'm going down. As it's rotating, I'm still going down. As I bring it around, I'm still going down. I always have a downward motion. But you say, Wayne, it's tiring. Wow. Welcome to IST. There's a little bit of tiring in the beginning, but of course, you get better as you go. And you need to rest that's okay. But I have to explain to you how to do it correctly. You don't want leaking energy. As soon as the energy goes that way, yes, you don't feel too much in the back leg, but you also won't develop long term. So you go slow. As I sink, it keeps sinking. It's always sinking as I bring it around. And when I do it that way, I feel like my both arms and my upper body 很轻灵, very light, like a feather. So as it's coming around, my body is very light. So some of you that come to the in-person class, when I tell you to spot me during rotation rooting, they say, Wayne, you're so soft. That's because I keep going down. So when I bring it around, my upper body is like a feather, simply because all the energy is flowing down. And what's doing the rotation is the rolling ankle, not my arms. As soon as energy is coming from the arms, now when I bring it around and I'm feeding you, that's why your arms, I feel this residual tension. There's energy there. You're not sinking it down. But that's okay because you're developing. Over time, as you get better and you improve, your arms become free. The energy keeps going down. And over time, the bottom of your feet will become more connected. You develop a relationship to the ground. Sifu Chan calls it 培养感情. Your connection to the ground gets deeper and deeper. And as a result, you become unified with Earth's energy and your energy. And this right here will become very supple. They say in the Tai Chi classics, if your waist is not supple, you can't do internal art because the energy in the top needs to go through and needs to come back up. So the waist area is of utmost importance. You need to be very supple in this area. There can't be any tension. You need to have proper alignment to do it correctly. And over time, it will come correctly because we're always talking about it and reinforcement. So again, those are some of the details on rotational rooting. And when done correctly over time, you feel like 一条线, one line energy from top to bottom and bottom to top. You feel everything is connected. You feel that when one part moves, all parts move. That's the feeling you have as you do it more and more and more. And what used to be tiring is not tiring anymore because the energy doesn't get stuck in the back leg. That's the way it works. And then you become very stable, 很沉,松长. It becomes very stable like an anchor rooted into the ground. It's a very nice feeling because it feels like you're grounded, right? You feel like you're constantly releasing. That's the feeling you have. So from rotational rooting to everything you do, you'll feel similarities, whether you're doing the arm bridge, whether you're doing meditation walking, whether you're doing 松功上法. Once you understand that rooted feeling, you feel it in everything. And it gets heavier and heavier because you become more song, because you have more of your equilibrium and you start to feel that internal dynamic. It's a very nice, healthy feeling to have. Okay? So